From the very first time humans looked to the skies, we dreamt of flight. But alongside that dream of freedom came another darker vision, the power to rain destruction from above. This is the story of how bombs from the sky didn't just change warfare, they redefined destruction itself. All started small, almost comically so. Picture this, it's 1911, during the Italo-Turkish War. An Italian pilot, Lieutenant Giulio Gavati, leans out of his fragile open cockpit plane and manually drops 4 small grenades on an enemy camp. Each one was no bigger than an orange. The physical damage was minimal, but the psychological impact was immense. For the first time, an attack had come from the sky, a realm previously untouchable. The age of aerial bombing had begun. World War I saw this new concept explode, quite literally. Early on, pilots were still essentially throwing things overboard by hand, from small bombs to metal darts called flechettes, designed to pierce helmets. But technology advanced at a terrifying pace. Specialized bomber aircraft were developed, like Germany's Gotha GV and Britain's Handley Page Type O. These weren't nimble fighters, they were lumbering giants designed for one purpose: to carry the heaviest possible payload deep into enemy territory. Cities like London and Paris experienced the terror of nighttime air raids for the first time. The Zeppelin menace saw huge silent airships drift over cities, dropping bombs that caused widespread panic, far exceeding their actual military value. Warfare was no longer confined to the battlefield. It had come home. The years between the world wars were a crucial, ominous period of innovation. Thinkers like Giulio Douhet in Italy, Hugh Trenchard in Britain, and Billy Mitchell in the United States all championed the idea of air power as the decisive weapon of future conflicts. They argued that by targeting an enemy's industrial heartland, transportation networks, and even civilian morale through strategic bombing, a war could be won quickly, avoiding the bloody stalemate of trench warfare. This theory, the bomber will always get through, became a driving force in military doctrine. Aircraft became faster, stronger, and capable of carrying much larger bomb loads over greater distances. The technology for precision bombing was also being developed, with sites like the famous Norden bomb site promising to drop a bomb into a pickle barrel from 20,000 feet. The stage was set for a conflict on a scale never before imagined. Then came World War II, and the theories of the interwar years were put to the most brutal test imaginable. The Blitzkrieg was spearheaded by the Luftwaffe's dive bombers. The Stukas, whose terrifying sirens became a symbol of Nazi aggression. The Blitz over London saw the city endure relentless bombing for months on end. But the Allies responded in kind, and then some. Massive nighttime raids by the Royal Air Force and daylight precision bombing campaigns by the U.S. Army Air Forces were launched against Germany. Cities like Hamburg and Dresden were consumed by firestorms, created by thousands of tons of incendiary and high-explosive bombs. The goal was dehousing the German workforce and crippling industrial production. In the Pacific, the strategy was just as ruthless. American B-29 superfortresses, the most advanced bombers of their time, systematically firebombed Japanese cities, which were largely made of wood and paper. The Tokyo firebombing in March 1945 killed more people in a single night than the initial blast of either atomic bomb. Then came the ultimate culmination of this history. August 6, 1945. A lone B-29, the Enola Gay, appeared in the sky over Hiroshima. It dropped a single bomb, little boy. In a flash of unimaginable light and heat, the city was erased. 3 days later, Nagasaki met the same fate with Fat Man. The atomic bomb was not just a bigger bomb. It was a fundamental shift in the nature of power and destruction. A single plane with a single weapon could now annihilate an entire city in an instant. The concept of total war, born in World War I and perfected in World War II, had reached its terrifying apex. The Cold War was defined by the shadow of the bomb. The doctrine of mutually assured destruction, or MAD, held the world hostage. Both the United States and the Soviet Union built vast arsenals of nuclear weapons. Delivered by intercontinental ballistic missiles and fleets of strategic bombers like the B-52 Stratofortress, a plane so successful it's still in service today. For decades, the world lived with the constant, terrifying knowledge that a full-scale war could mean the end of civilization. While conventional bombing continued in conflicts like Korea and Vietnam, where the US dropped more bombs than it did in all of World War II, it was the nuclear threat that shaped global politics. Today, the technology of aerial warfare has transformed once again. The era of massive bomber fleets darkening the sky is largely over. We now live in the age of precision and stealth. Guided munitions, or smart bombs, can be directed by lasers, GPS, or satellites to hit a specific building, or even a specific window from miles away. Stealth bombers like the B-2 Spirit can penetrate the most sophisticated air defenses undetected. And perhaps the most significant change is the rise of unmanned aerial vehicles, or drones. From the Predator and Reaper to smaller tactical drones, these aircraft can loiter over a target for hours, providing surveillance before delivering a precise strike, all without risking a pilot's life. From a hand-tossed grenade to a drone-launched missile. The evolution of aerial bombing is a stark reflection of our technological genius and our capacity for destruction. It's a story that forced us to redraw the maps of our cities, rewrite the rules of war, and ultimately to confront the very real possibility of our own self-annihilation. The sky, once a symbol of infinite possibility, became a new dimension of conflict, forever changing the world below. Thanks for watching. If you found this history as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit that like button. And subscribe for more deep dives into the events that shaped our world. See you next time.